you transition from just being an investor and giving him the money to rehab to you yourself now you're learning how to rehab and you're buying the homes and I guess doing more?
Well, it was scary because, it's another transition. So you would think that I'll be excited, but I was like, when you was going into another part of the business and doing more developments and everything like that, it was like, hey, I'm gonna go with you, right? But I didn't know about accredited investor, and you have to be worth $1 million, you have to have $1 million in assets, and you have to be worth 200,000. I didn't know that part. All I knew that was my friend, and he was doing something. I was gonna rock with him. I had no problem with him making the majority of the money. Like, I'm just that kind of guy. But it was like, man, I think you got it from here. I just went to hustling, got the first deal in Pompano. It worked out for me with that deal, but I held on to it long. I supposed to make about $70,000 on that house. I walked away with $17,000.
How come?
I was on some HGTV shit at the time. My feelings was into it. Nothing wrong with the lights, just need to be paint. Just put paint around the light. But I had the mentality that I'm gonna change the whole light. I'm gonna knock down this whole wall. I'm gonna make it an open kitchen and open design. Nothing was wrong with the floors. Why would I change the floors?
But you did that anyway.
But I did it anyway, but it wasn't making me no money.
Okay.
It wasn't adding more value to the house. I just did it just to do it.
Okay. So at that point, you weren't thinking financially of what you need to be doing for the house. You're thinking, I think this might just look good.
I think it might look good.
So
it's going
might
to attract
help
buyers,
itself.
so it's going to help itself. It's going to help itself.
But you weren't
But I wanted
calculating.
$495 for the house, but I ended up selling for $440.
Okay.
No matter how you do the house, the market is the market. It's just bottom line.
What people are actually willing to pay for it.
Now, when you go into some higher end homes, yeah, that may be the case because those are different buyers. They want what they want. If they have $5 million and you say you want 5.2, they may come up to 5.1. You get what I'm saying? But when you're talking about the little small houses, a lot of times people buy houses, they don't have any money to put extra down on the house. They don't want it bad. They rather just go get them something else for what they can afford.
Yeah.
So you have to do houses that people can afford.
Okay, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah.
So is there like a certain price range that you try to stay in?
For me, no, not really. Not anymore. Because I have access to some capital.
I mean, price range in the home, in the value of the homes. Do you stay underneath $500,000 in a house that is sell for $500,000 because people will want to buy it?
I won't do $1 million house because it'll sit too long. Holding costs will be a monster. Those are some of the most profitable deals. It's very rarely people up there. The higher you go up, the less people you will see because they're riskier deals. So since they're riskier deals, you tend to make more money. For me, purchase price, 300 something, like 350 purchase. But like I said, it depends on if that market is moving because the holding cost can be a monster on that house.
Correct.
So, and the carrying cost, not holding, just holding cost, carrying cost. Carrying and holding is two different things. Holding is pretty much what you finance the money, what you owe these people every month on their money.
Okay.
Carrying costs is your water, your gas, your electricity, your insurance, things like that.
So Terrence, I have a question for you. So many investors, when you're talking about investing property, the first thing they say is the numbers have to make sense. Also, investors look to get a return on their investment. For just the new investors starting out, how can you break down if the numbers make sense or getting a return on the investment? Give us an example.
Honestly, it's kind of an individual basis with that. Let's say Fred, he have to make at least $50,000 on the house. Just in case he sell it and he make 35, he good. He can't make, the most he could make is 50. What if he only make 15,000? Then that's a real skinny deal, won't worth your time. So I would mostly look at return on investment percentage wise. You know what I'm saying? So I have to make at least 15% on my return on the entire investment. Therefore, it don't matter whether I sell $1 million home or $100,000 home. 15% is 15%. 15% just look better on a $1 million house. But if I was making $50,000 on a $1 million deal, that's a horrible deal. That's 5% of your money back. So it won't be worth it. The numbers have to make sense for people. You have to ask them what their numbers are. So for me, I just told you, the cap rate could be 10% for me for a rental, 15, 20% on a flip. So those are my numbers. So once I put them in my system that I have, deal makes sense. I say, okay, let's go on with the deal. Let's move forward. And at that point, it's about making sure the rehab is right. Some people overestimate the rehab. I know I can get the rehab done at a
Wouldn't it be better to overestimate rehab than underestimate?
No.
No?
No. Because overestimating will keep you out a lot of deals.
Okay. If you're overestimating in your mind, it
You
might
ain't gonna
cause
do
you
the
to
deal.
back out. Okay.
You ain't gonna do the deal.
Got it. So it's just
You
best
ain't gonna
to
do the
be
deal.
accurate.
Let's say the roof. If you know your guy can get it done for 10,000, why are you estimating 15,000? That's $5,000 that took you out of the freaking deal.
Okay.
$5,000 can make or break a deal. You know what I'm saying? If you say, okay, I can get this done for 10,000, but I'm gonna estimate maybe 10, 5, 11, you're in pretty great shape. I think people just overestimate all around. And guess what? Sometimes, let's say I may have to do the roof. That's gonna take from somewhere else in the house because I'm gonna stick to my numbers. My numbers gonna be my numbers. Some shit just not gonna get done in the house because the roof is the most important thing of the house.
Okay.
So at least they getting a brand new roof. All the other stuff, they can fix up themselves.
Okay, that makes sense. So if the house is not necessarily absolutely mandatory to like remodel everything, sometimes it's just about fixing certain things to bring up the property value.
That's it.
Okay.
Because people gonna buy it.
Okay.
The house next door to a house that me and Kay have, like, I think it went for $230 something.
Yeah, it was
and
ridiculous.
I was like, what the hell?
It
But
was
people
ridiculous.
buy.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Somebody purchased it, correct.
Somebody purchased it and lived in it when it clearly needed work.
Correct.
And they not gonna do the work.
When we think about inspections with a regular client, we're looking at more so on the surface. With investors, they go in, they know that the house is distressed. So what is an inspection like for an investor when they're going into a property opposed to a regular
Roof,
purchaser?
plumbing, electrical.
That's their primary thing that you're worried
Roof,
about.
plumbing, and electrical.
Nice. Okay.
Because you already know as an investor, you're gonna do the kitchen, you're gonna do the bathroom, and that's that. We know that coming in already. Roof is good, I'm good. The plumbing is good, I'm good. Electrical, the rest of that stuff is just cosmetic work.
Nice.
You just get the least expensive tile. You get you some nice little paint. Keep the cabinets if you could. Change the countertops. Put some stainless steel appliances. You could get appliances on OfferUp. People pretty much giving away their appliances on there because they upgrading. Yeah, you have to be very strategic about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've walked into some properties with investors and I'm looking at this and I'm like, what can they do with this? Sometimes it's so distressed. It's like, okay, can I see what, they can actually do with it? So when you walk into a property and you walk into it and you're like, this is a good investment, or you walk into it and you say, you know what, this is a bad investment. What actually makes that good investment? What is it that you see, or what are the signs that this is a good investment property?
When there's no major work that has to be done as far as dealing with the city, no urban violations, that could tear you up. The more distressed the property, the better, because sometimes you can get it at a discounted rate.
Correct.
But the seller have to understand that, hey, you have to compromise with the price that you're on. It could be the seller, could be the bank. They may want this, but if the work is $80,000, and I'm still trying to make profit, now you added negotiations with that person, and now you have to get not just your eyes, you have to pull a real inspection report, submit that back to the bank and say, hey,
Correct.
here's how much things will cost, what are you willing to work out? I done submitted things to the seller, it required $70,000 worth of work, and the only thing they came down with $15,000 on the price of the house. Okay, $70,000, but we wouldn't come down to 15. At that point, I have to walk away because my numbers is real.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I can't roll with this. Or I'll see, hey, look, I'm willing to up the earnest money deposit. I'm willing to put in whatever you need me to put in, but I need to get it at this price. If they sticking to their numbers, you have to be okay with walking away from certain deals.
Okay. So how do you go about actually finding houses to rehab? Do you ever go to auctions or?
Well, I've never been to auctions. I've now bought off auction.com and Hubzoo and stuff like that. No, I don't think they have it down here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think most of the auctions are online, but
It's
you
online.
have participated in auctions, like getting property through auctions?
Yeah.
What do you do to prepare yourself to do an
Well,
auction?
for somebody that's new, I won't recommend it because you have to see the property. Google Earth works, but some people would say, oh, sometimes Google Earth is outdated. And when people say that, I'm like, look, I just gave you a solution, you create another problem. Then at that point, just go see the house.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, because you can see what it's going to be on the previous night, right? So I done jumped fences, man. I done went in windows, and you're talking about a black man, so it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
But, that's some of the dedication that it took. I saw something the other day that inspired me, and I thought I was the only one. I never shared this story till now. I remember when I first got into real estate, and a realtor trusted me with some of their information. And I used to go in $1 million vacant properties and just go look around. Just be inspired by stuff, man. Like, man, one day I'm gonna buy this. Just go look, and that person never knew, but it was funny that he said he did the same thing. I was like, oh, stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said that. That lady would probably sunk his ass in jail if he found out what he was doing.
I was just telling that to Kay because one of the agents at K1 just got $1 million listings, and I said I need to go see it because I don't think I ever been in $1 million house, but I need to go to see it, to be a part of it, and really feel it. You know,
it's possible. It's possible.
Definitely it is.
You got some people that's all they list. One of my guys, he got Golden Beach on smash. It's not a house in Golden. You're not gonna get a listing in Golden Beach without him knowing about it. But that's his place. That's his niche. When you try to be all over the place, it ain't gonna work out for you. I would tell agents and investors, zero in on certain zip codes.
Okay.
Sometimes, man, when I go back to my neighborhood and I see a house getting rehabbed, I feel a little offended. I'm like, how you got that under my nose, but that's what happens when you're looking everywhere and you're not focusing on your area.
And so what's your area? What area have you, and how did you come to land on your area?
I just say I'm going to invest in Carroll City. I mean, stuff come to me like, and I'll jump on it. But Miami Gardens, that's my home. So, and I got some stuff there before. And it was dope to put one of our families in there that needed some. But you just never know because people are so prideful. They won't tell you that they got problems with the house. Even when I can see it. I can see the house going into foreclosure. And I don't worry about that. We already taken care of. Older folks are a little bit stubborn. They don't buy the house. I get it. For new investors, give them something easy. That doesn't require a lot of work. Maybe put in about $10,000, $15,000. Something that's durable.
So Terrence, with new investors, you talked about new investors. We always say, how do we get into real estate? And I know with investors, their primary thing is, how do you exit out of the property when you purchase this? So can you explain what is meant by the exit strategy?
Exit strategy is either you're going to wholesale it, flip it, rehab it, or you're going to rent it. But if I have to hold on to the property long enough, I might just Airbnb it then, you know what I'm saying? And get free refi out of that deal. Those are your exit strategies. Live in it and just refi out of it. Some of your exit strategies, wholesaling it, flipping it, renting it, Airbnb, live in it.
So the exit strategy is your way you're going to make the money, the income on the property, or how,
No, just getting out of the house.
If you're worried
about making a ton of money on the house, your main focus is an investor, is to get in and out of that deal. You want to make as much money as possible. I know, I feel you, trust me. But you got to do it smart because you'll hold on to these properties, you'll eat your profit away anyway.
Correct.
So you have to make quick decisions.
Correct.
And say, man, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. If I make $8,000, I thought I was going to make $25,000. So freaking be it. You made something. You lost money, but you made something.
Correct.
And you just move on to the next one. And then you try to figure out what went wrong with that one.
So has there ever been a moment where you held on to something too long, like
Absolutely.
When timing affected you negatively?
Absolutely, right now. I'm going through it right now. And I tell people this. I will look into the camera and tell you, not all partnerships are created equal. Be careful who you partner with. Because I have a deal right now since 2016. I got that property for $184,000. It's worth $410 now. Why am I almost going to break even on that house?
Ooh.
Bad partnerships. And then I got investors on that house. I got people that trusted me with their money since 2016, and they like, hey, Terrence, what's my return on my investment? And guess what I have to do? Pay these people back their money.
You have to return on the investment.
Yeah.
Guess
whether
what?
you make profit or not.
Pocket.
Correct.
Out of my own pocket. Because that's just how thorough I am. It's really the city with that. The city helped us up a long time with plans and architects, and you relying on a group of people. The architect may need to get this done. When the architect done, then the engineer, but the GC may be on another job. Now you waiting days for him. It just causes a frenzy. Yeah, that would be a bad deal. It's not a deal I would get on now that I'm not in full 100% control of. If I'm not controlling the deal, I'm not getting on it.
And so when you say control, what do you mean by that? What is
I will
it
be
that
the
you're
final
controlling?
decision maker.
Okay.
I will make all the decisions regarding that property.
Okay.
It comes through me. I have the final say on the house. I will consider my partners, but I got to make the final decision because I know I'm in it for the right reasons. I know where my heart at with the house. I know where my mind at. It's about everybody else. It's not about me. That's the problem when people, they make it about them. I'm worrying about getting a return on the investment for other people. Nobody had to tell me that. That's just always been me. And I heard Jeff Bezos say something like that, where it was like, oh, he made $150 billion. And he was like, he cared about the $850 billion he made his investors.
Creating a win-win relationship for
Exactly,
everybody, a
for
win-win
everybody.
situation. Yeah, and that is important.
At the time, it was worth $285. Should have got out of it. It's a 4-3 actual on record 3-2. We are like, oh, we gonna maximize this house.
Correct.
Let's make it a 4-3. The city like,
Okay.
Submit plans for that. We need to see what you're doing.
And so that's kind of where the slowdown came in?
Yeah, because we had the house done by people that, they did great work. They did exactly what we told them to do. The city was like, they're not GCs. You need to get a GC now. Guess what? That was another $20,000.
Correct.
Dealing with the city. Then we had to get an architect that was $10,000. Then we had to pay $500 each time that we had to submit the plans, which we submitted them 10 times. Only for them to tell us, correct this, do this, do this, do this. I'm grateful for the experience, costly experience, but I'm grateful for it because I wouldn't have known. I'm more like this. When I find out something, I'm like, okay, it'll hurt, it'll sting, it'll bother me. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, keep going. But partners, they could be like, oh, I'm in a funk. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then now still a week passed by. Did you get this done? No, I've been out of it. You know what I'm saying? So
kind of holding themselves back.
Yeah.
So Terrence, as an investor, who is on your quote unquote dream team? Who do you need on your team to?
Yes.
Who is your dream
That's a great
team?
question, yeah.
You need K. Bronson.
Hey,
Samantha.
there you go.
You need Dr. Karen.
Okay.
You need K1 Realty.
There you
You
go.
need you a great contracting team. You need you some lawyers. Help close your deals and a title company, lenders, maybe a project manager, somebody that could help with the project. You need not a whole bunch of people, but you need some good connects.
Correct.
You need some really, really good connections, man. And the only way you figure that out is you just talk to people and tell people your vision. And don't make it about you. Tell them what's in it for them. And let them know, hey, look, if you do business with me, I'm 100. I'm thorough. I want to build a long-term relationship. Some people just fly-by-night people, you know, and then you'll find out if they're a good fit for you. Don't hire nobody that work. I'm not shitting on jobs. I think jobs are good. Saying when you first start and you need people, you can't have people come to your house when they get off of work.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
It's primary, secondary.
So you're kind of saying find someone who has as much commitment and time to put into this, because this is what you do.
Yeah.
So you would want somebody to find someone who this is what they do, and they're gonna put their all into this.
Even if you got a
not to
part,
define
even if
their
you have a
interests.
job, hire people that's gonna get to the job because you won't be there. People telling you they work, God knows what, but they know how to lay floors and they real cheap on floors, but they can't get to it till the weekend.
Correct.
Oh hell no.
Yeah.
Hell, pay somebody else a little bit more and they can get it done in 2 or 3 days. Timing is very important with real estate, and you need to get these properties turned over and get them back on the market as soon as possible if you flipping.
So is that all you do? Flip and rehab?
No,
or
I
do
got
you-
rentals.
Rentals as
No,
well?
I got rentals. This year's the year of refinancing a few of my properties, taking equity out and buying more properties. So I'll be scaling up, buying some more multiplexes and stuff. Explore Airbnb with one of these properties. I don't know which one yet, and that'll be new for me. And then I'll be months from now. I'll be to tell you. You know, if I do it, I'll tell you how that's going for me.
Great. You have any more questions,
All
Kate?
right. At the end of the day, we have gotten some really good information. In addition to, I love the fact that Terrence says, and we also emphasize that real estate, investing, being a realtor, it doesn't stop after you get one property. It doesn't stop after you get one contract. It doesn't stop after you get one listing. When you get that one property, you know what you're doing? You're already moving on to the next, and you already got your eye on another 3, 4, 5. It's a continuation. It don't stop. So this has been our after the Real on Radio show session with Terrence
Thank you.
Fulton.
Thank you so much.
Work, strive, and grind.
Thank you so
and
much.
my girl, Samantha.